If you haven't been keeping up with Marvel Rivals Esports, you are missing out because we're already halfway through Season 1 and the top teams are still learning new combos, new patterns, and new ways to dominate on the battlefield. I'm gonna clue you into one of the best teams in Marvel Rivals Esports and dissect the different plays and strategies from one of their recent tournaments. I've been casting Marvel Rivals Esports since the turn of the new year and watching top 500 scrim lobbies on my streams on Twitch, so if you're interested in Marvel Rivals Esports and keeping up with the top teams, make sure to subscribe and press some buttons down below. But no more wasting time, let's talk about one of the new kids on the block in Marvel Rivals Esports, Shikigami. Signed on January 26, 2025, the Shikigami roster has been an indomitable force on the leaderboard and in the scrim lobbies all the way since beta, and they're showing no signs of slowing down. Shikigami plays in a way that differs from a lot of teams in that they have a set of determining factors that decides when they make a play and how. Where other teams would dive in the moment that an enemy support is taken out of the equation, Shikigami uses that to gain a long-term advantage in a team fight and plays the long game when available. While this doesn't always work out for them, their pacing is starting to catch on more and more in one above all lobbies. Let me show you what I mean. Alrighty, so here we've got Shikigami versus Boom Crew, and when we look at the bans, we're looking to see Bucky band and Loki band. The Bucky band makes a lot of sense because Shikigami wants to play light on Spider-Man, and Bucky is just anti-bully. So if you're going to send somebody like Spider-Man to bully their back line, making sure that they don't have a Bucky is going to make your life a lot easier. Namor got saved here, but that's not as important. The other one I want to point out is Loki. Now, Loki is getting an adjustment in the Season 1 mid-season update, thank God, but I can understand why they ban him, because if you don't want to ban Luna, you don't want to ban Cloak and Dagger, you want to make sure that you're not dealing with 3 of those types of ultimates at the same time. So getting rid of Loki makes a ton of sense. These also are a little bit of target bans if you know Boom Crew, but we're going to look at also why they protected Venom. Spark Chief is the Venom of the century. If you remember back to Nightmare Esports video, we talked a lot about making sure that you're taking the fight up to the enemy's spawn. You're taking the fight as close as you can to the enemy team so that they have to use their ults early, all that kind of stuff. But what Shikigami does is a little bit of a mixed approach. Focus on where Spark Chief and Light are playing on. Obviously, with Spider-Man and Venom being the 2 dives, they are going to be the ones that are trying to take that fight up close and personal. Now, Spider-Man is going to be waiting for his time to strike until he can solo somebody out, and he waits a lot longer than most people would. We look at Spark Chief as well. He is being solo healed up by Luna and Rocket. They both try to dive out and find their respective picks. Now, Spider-Man is going to be looking for a pick on the side. He's not going to find it just yet. He's going to back away. If we take a look, once again, Venom is just being solo healed, and if we check back in with Light, he found his opportunity. There is Cloak and Dagger. Here's our opportunity for an instant kill. Boom. Now Cloak and Dagger is taken out of the equation, and a lot of teams would choose to push right here. A lot of teams would dive in and take advantage of the fact that now Cloak and Dagger is picked. But that's not what Shikigami does. Now, they do have to stay back and heal because Venom is almost killed, but they're able to sustain through it. Ginger Pop is getting bullied, and it looks like Ginger Pop might actually go out, but they don't let that opportunity come through. Not yet, at least. So they get Hulk out of Hulk form and into Bruce Banner, and Light goes around to try to get the pick, but it actually forces Luna to ult here. So that forced Luna ult is actually going to be huge. It means that Shikigami has to go for theirs, and Namor is going to ult, which unfortunately takes out Luna Snow. That's going to be fine because they have a BRB beacon, but again, look at what Light is doing with Spark Chief. They are both trying to separate where the enemies are, which gives a perfect opening for Rocket and Punisher combo to get that damage boost and infinite ammo, and that's going to provide a huge opening where Doctor Strange gets picked, Cloak and Dagger doesn't get to come out of spawn. Obviously, they take out Luna Snow as well, and this is how they flip the point. They waited until they were going to be able to guarantee a team wipe. Rather than just going right off of the first pick, they backed up, they let them get confident in that space, and they used the fact that the Cloak and Dagger had to run back from spawn as an ability to know they could sustain any single fight that comes through. They're going to get that ultimate out early, and they're going to be able to hold on. Over here, Spider-Man is going to be looking for his opportunity to bully. He tries to find a pick here. It's not going to hit. It actually pops a bunch of different ultimates here. So Eye of Agamotto going to hit, and unfortunately that is going to take out both Punisher and Luna Snow. We lose Gasklin as well, both the tanks. So now it's just going to be Spider-Man and Rocket. They both have to just survive. Luckily, both of them are able to. It would be really bad if they actually died and got picked up here, but both of them are able to escape into an area where they don't have to worry about getting picked. So team is just ready to reset. So once the team comes back from their team respawn, the pacing over here is actually incredible. So Spider-Man actually comes in, touches the point, which forces the enemy team to come back a little bit, right? Obviously, they're going to try to fight up towards the spawn, but because they never cleared Spider-Man, they're not trying to get C9'd. So look at the timing with how Spider-Man starts this approach in getting this pinch. So it's important that that pinch doesn't happen too soon, but it happens at just the right moment. So as soon as this team is ready to come out of the gate, that is when Spider-Man hits. Look, the moment he hits, 3 people turn around immediately. The team is now split, and this gives Shikigami the perfect opportunity to come in. Not only that, Spider-Man has his ult, and Punisher has his ult. So we get 2 DPS ults from 2 different sides of the map. So Spider-Man can dive in and hit his amazing Spider-Man while everybody is running away from the Punisher ult. It is just too much to deal with, and Light is proving to be one of the most incredible Spider-Man players in these team fights here. He's an absolute asset to the team, and they're able to reset instantly. Not only that, but they know that Boom Crew does not have a lot of ultimates coming out of their spawn. They know that there's not a lot that they can do. Look at where Spider-Man is. He's going to be able to get all the information. Hey, they're going up top. Hey, they're about to dive in. He's going to look for the opportunity to get somebody out, and he does. Actually, look at that. I missed that on the spectating. Look at this. He goes for the one-hit kill. The perfect combo. It's just nuts. Now, like I said, it doesn't always work out here. So Spider-Man goes for this, and look at that. They're getting them fully wiped out, right? They're staggering as much as they can. But Spider-Man is a character that takes a lot of time to sort of reset. So they're not going to push their luck again. But let's look at what Boom Crew does to get out of this. So the only way out of it is with that portal. Now, this part gets a little bit confusing to follow, but the idea here is that if they were able to get somebody soloed out with Spider-Man on the other side of the portal, they'd have a much easier time in this fight. Because they don't, they have to look for an opportunity somewhere else. We are still going to be watching Spider-Man on this mostly, but he's looking for the opportunity to get a one-shot. Now, Monster does get a pick onto Magneto. Magneto comes back from the BRB beacon, and the dueling Luna Snow ult provides an opportunity for Spider-Man to come in and get somebody to get punched out of the Luna Snow ult. In this case, what he actually does is he dives in and he takes out Luna Snow mid-ult. The absolute burst damage that happens here. So look at this. Velocity is in the ult. There's still 5 seconds left of the ult, right? But the combination of the Venom ult and Spider-Man getting the pick, it's nuts. So Spider-Man gets the hit, Venom gets the chomp, and they remove Velocity from the Luna Snow ultimate. It's incredible. Now, they do still have a Cloak and Dagger ult, which is going to come through. Energy gets picked here, which does suck. Gasklin is unable to take out the Cloak and Dagger, and because Gasklin was not able to get the Cloak and Dagger taken out, it just makes it a lot harder for this team to stay focused. Even if they got that, Wolverine still would have gotten this pick here with the ult, but off the back of that, it was so close to actually being a proper win. But they do end up losing this point, and they have to reset. Let's look at what their reset ends up looking like. So Spider-Man gets staggered here a little bit, which isn't the worst thing in the world because it's Spider-Man, he can get on point fast, but Spark Chief knows he's gonna have to dive into position soon. So he gets ready for the dive. Luna Snow is primed up to just keep everybody alive. Rocket, of course, is gonna do what he can to just sort of stay in the back, but it's Spider-Man, again, on the ult, finding somebody to solo out. Look at the decision making, right? You can, as they're running out of spawn, right, he is going to be the last person in, but his team is already telling him the positions, already telling him where everything is. There's a support. I have to go and take out the support as soon as possible. So trying to get the combo misses a little bit, but you can solo ult here. And he does. That solo ult provides them the opportunity to get on a point without having to worry about the team sustaining through it, because now they have the upward sustain. Not only that, but as at the same time as Light is doing all this work, Energy was able to take out one of the tanks. Now, Spider-Man doesn't get the pick onto Cloak and Dagger immediately, but they still remove Cloak and Dagger from the equation really early on. So even though it's not the perfect one-shot combo, look at this. Cloak and Dagger can't do anything for a long time before they're taken out. So this is a guaranteed flip at this point. There it is, guaranteed flip gonna come through, and they've already won the game because they wait for the opportunity to get that one shot, they get that one support removed, and then they go in, right? It's a lot more of a refined approach than a lot of teams are taking. When it comes to their domination, it really is about that Spider-Man. And if you thought it was a fluke on the last map, look at this one. Admittedly, they do lose this point and it goes to map 3, but check this out. The perfect combo execution to be able to take out Cloak and Dagger immediately off the rip. Try and just find those 1v1s at any step of the way. Light is one of the best Spider-Mans in the world. Again, they do lose this point, but here's an opportunity where we can watch what they do to actually get things flipped in their favor. Following the normal meta conventions, obviously you've got Magneto and Venom fighting up close to their spawn, but then you've also just got a Spider-Man diving towards their back line, looking for the opportunities to strike. And they're able to actually single out Luna Snow here. It's gonna force a Cloak and Dagger ult, but it gets even better. Because check this out, obviously the entire team is fighting on this point right now. They are fighting to make sure that they're going to keep this point. And for Shikigami, every single person has their place on this team fight. But because of the Cloak and Dagger ultimate, they have to fall off a little bit. They have to fall back a little bit. Ginger Pop has to use the Luna Snow ult, and they do admittedly lose some space. But where is Spider-Man in all this? Where's Spider-Man? Spider-Man is about to take it out personally against Luna Snow again. Because that is one of the best parts about having the Spider-Man Venom team up, is that you can guarantee a solo kill. So again, when they get a pick onto the support, they use that as an opportunity to just keep that rolling through and playing for that long term. So even though they lose the point here, again, it gets flipped out, they're just waiting for Spider-Man to be able to get the pick and remove everything. And here it is again. Now there's no more supports. And what's Spider-Man gonna do? Well, if everybody dies, oh, well, Spider-Man's gonna die. But if everybody on the point dies, then Spider-Man is going to do his best to try and maintain that 1v1 performance, right? Unfortunately, he's not able to do that here because the team, you know, comes back. But still, seeing how they're playing Spider-Man as just as a tool in their tool belt to remove supports is amazing. So if you're still not convinced that their entire playstyle revolves around using Spider-Man as a tool to remove supports from the game, while still employing the same tactics that a lot of these top 500 teams are doing with taking the fight close to the enemy spawn early in the game, look at how Light is about to take this fight here. Right? It's not an accident. It is every single time. Look, both supports. Oh, look, my ult is online. Not gonna use it yet because there's a Cloak and Dagger bubble. But as soon as that bubble's gone, boom, ultimate. Takes out one, causes Luna Snow to ult way away from the point here. And not only that, but Spider-Man is able to kind of come back with his team, find some more solos. Hey, there's Bruce Banner. Let's make sure he doesn't get back into Hulk. That is the next target. Boom. He does it so consistently, and the whole team is poised to keep Light alive, or to at least provide Light with those opportunities. So where we saw Nightmare do all of their best work as far as taking the team, separating it into two different fights, because you have the Vanguards that are diving in and pushing up at the front, and you have the rest of the team fighting in the back to split up the team into two fights. You have Spider-Man and everybody else. And this is what I love about Shikigami, is that it's not only the Spider-Man plays. They have a lot of plays like this, but on Domination, Spider-Man is a very common placement for them if he does not get target banned. He's so consistent. He is so consistent. Not only that, but yeah, I mean, check this out. Gasklin, you know, formerly on Nightmare, now on Shikigami, check out what he's gonna be able to do here. Like, oh, there's Cloak and Dagger ult. Dear Magneto. Boom. Just a masterclass of Magneto, and just making sure the Vanguards can't get any space here. It is huge. Shikigami is an absolute force to be dealt with. We move on towards the next team fight. We'll see what Light is doing. Obviously, the rest of the team is also just soloing up and making sure that they're going to be locked into that back room. Spider-Man sees the opportunity to dive in. He has the movement tech down pat. Now, Cloak and Dagger pops a bubble, so it's going to be a lot harder. The timing is different, but he's not even being looked at right now because of everything that's also still happening over here. There's a Luna Snow ult that's going on. You've got the Punisher ult that's going on. I mean, Hulk is going to go into his Hulk form here, but it's going to be hard to deal with that because you've got Punisher. And then on this side, the supports are just getting completely annihilated by the Spider-Man ult. Look at that. If Hulk wasn't in ult form, Spider-Man probably would have been able to come out of that. But even with that pick, it doesn't matter. The damage has already been done. Now, of course, we think back to map 1. What is the only possible way that Boom Crew can come back from this? It's a portal. So portal gonna come through and they will eventually flip the point here. But let's look at what Spider-Man's pathing is, right? Right out of spawn, he tries to dive in to go for the portal again. Right, he knows that they're gonna portal, tries to get in, but he's just unable to. They're locking him out of it. And again, he wants to go for that 1v1 outside the portal. He can't get there in time. It means that the team has to wait for him to come back. It's a little bit of a timing thing that I'm sure that they're working on. But check this out. Now, Spider-Man, he finds his opportunity. He finds the ability to play with the entire map and get the ultimates out early. Make sure that those ultimates come out when they want them. Agamotto happens, it's very unfortunate, but even when Shikigami gets shut down in a way that costs so much. They had to use almost every ultimate at their disposal. And I mean, a Doctor Strange ult, it's gonna be a huge opening for something like that. But remember, they're not out of the ring just yet. Watch how Boom Crew decides to take this fight. So they're going to be trying to hold up from the left area here instead of the right. They need to find out where those dives are coming from because they have to deal with Venom and Spider-Man. It's not clear exactly when those fights will happen. So Spider-Man, he gets their back line, immediately disarray, right? Spider-Man just dives back in, and now the whole team that was holding on this side, in an instant, you have more than half of the team that are now out of position because Spider-Man could just come through and destroy them at any moment. So the team realizes this, they all dive into one place, and if you dive into one place, that makes you susceptible to Venom. So Venom dives in, he's gonna be able to do a lot of work here. Spider-Man comes in too, and of course, Spider-Man's looking for his opportunity. He almost gets taken out, but he's gonna survive. That is gonna cost a little bit of time before he can get healed back up. Now that Spider-Man's healed back up, they're waiting for the opportunity to strike. There's a Cloak and Dagger ult that's on the field right now, but right now, Shikigami is chilling. They're waiting for the opportunity for the dives to do their thing and dive in and just get the entirety of the enemy team separated. Look at this position of power here with the infinite ammo on Punisher. And not only that, but they're just waiting for the opportunity to use that Magneto ult from the spawn or from the middle of point. Luna Snow ult gonna go off right in the middle here. Magneto ult gonna look for a pick, finds a pick. Spider-Man gets a pick as well. There's just so much pressure. The enemies are split. Even though the enemies are holding the point, they have the position of power. Because of the Spider-Man and Venom comp, they are just diving out and getting everybody separated. So it's a more detailed separation approach than was previously available because the fact that they have Spider-Man, they have Venom. And that pick, that ability for them to just go in and take that space with Spider-Man, it's wild to see a Spider-Man that is this good all the way up in Pro League. There's just no recovering. That Star-Lord was looking for his opportunity to tap, but yeah, let's move on to the next game mode now. So now we're gonna take a look at Convergence, and what do you do if Spider-Man is banned? Well, Spider-Man wasn't banned, but Venom is banned, which is basically the same thing. When you take away Spider-Man's one-shot combo, you take away Spider-Man. So they're not playing Spider-Man, instead Light is gonna be on the other bully character that everybody loves to see in their ranked games, and that's gonna be Wolverine. Who has not seen any of my ranked games in close to, I'd say, since the beginning of me reaching Diamond, since he's always insta-banned, but it is what it is. We're gonna play with Wolverine here, and Gaskin is gonna start out with a portal. So this portal is gonna dive into the back line, and check this out. Spark Chief gonna be picking up our boy Light, get that little bit of low gang thrown through the portal, and unfortunately, no kidnap will happen here. So they have to reset just a little bit. He does manage to survive, he cuts back, and they don't get fully wiped out here, which is huge, but Did you notice what just happened? Did you notice how Gasklin just got a pick there? And I'll wind it back. So Strange is going through and just doing insane damage. And because of the team up with Hulk, when he clears out the negative energy, look at this. All that needed to happen was Hela hits one shot onto Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman goes down, not even a half HP, 60%. It is more than enough. All Strange needs to do is get one hit marker, and boom. That is the best part about the team up between Hulk and Strange, is that the immense amount of gamma power. So that's gonna be the snowball effect that they need. All they needed was that one pick onto a support, and check this out. So energy is on the side as Hela, trying to figure out where that chip damage is going to go, and as soon as they can bait the entirety of the defenders to dive inside, then that's when they can strike, right? They didn't even need that to happen, because energy was able to get a pick onto Luna Snow. Then on top of that, Fraud goes down, and it just goes away from them. They were trying to bait them inside of that room that they didn't even need to, because they were able to find the picks exactly where they needed. So sticking all together, off to a fantastic start. But I genuinely believe that every single person underestimates this team up between Wolverine and Hulk. Not only that, but this team up is also going to be there when the Thing comes out. So wild, right? So Wolverine's going to be able to use this with the Thing too. So just that throw is insane. Does not get the ability to pull Groot. He goes for the kidnap, but he gets pulled back by the Invisible Woman. And I think the extra boost pack from Rocket kind of threw him off. So he doesn't end up surviving this. But it's all about slow and steady winning the race. So they are going to get stopped here as Boom Crew pushes up. Obviously, they've got Groot. What's really good here is the tech from Zelos to use the Invisible Woman's shield to make sure that the Ankh is not doing damage while you're clearing it. It's awesome. So not only that, but we can see as they get ready to go up here, they know that they're about to get dove. So Gasklin and Spark Chief dive back a little bit because they just want to make sure that they're minimizing the impact. Strange, obviously, he needs to be there with a shield, but if he's gonna die, he's not gonna do any good. So Zelos is taking this fight here with Light, and through this, they actually get Moon Knight ulted, but with just that little burst bubble from Zelos, it's actually gonna do enough damage to finish off Groot. It's just doing that constant chip damage, which is necessary when you're playing with Wolverine, because Wolverine is constantly gonna get people down super low, but it's very common that they stay up with like 1 or 2 HP or like 10 HP. So that bubble from Invisible Woman is gonna clean up the rest. So through this, Vibrato does get a pick onto Gasklin, and that's too much. The team has to fall back. Light goes down as well, but hey, they procced out a Luna Snow ult, right? Going into the next fight, that's gonna be huge. They also, obviously, they had the Moon Knight ult out of the way and the Groot ult out of the way. That's 3 ults that they don't have to deal with. So ult economy right now is looking good. They stack up on the top here, looking for an opportunity to get in, and we're gonna see that same dive again with Light. Light is gonna try to get in and get aggressive. And look at what they do, right? So they are just stacked up together, right? They have enough aura to be able to win this without needing any ults. They're starting to push the cart, and here's the first throw. And this throw is how you get around Groot. That throw means that instantly your Wolverine is going to be inside their back line. And hey, look, we're gonna try to kidnap somebody, right? He goes for the kidnap onto Magneto and it doesn't end up working out. So pay close attention. Goes for the kidnap. Kidnap is going to work, but he gets pulled once again by Koodle Noodle, right? So that pull just canceled that once more. But this time, Light has the ultimate. You have the Wolverine ultimate, which means screw you, screw your backline, screw everything. Combine that with Hulk diving in to help clean things up, and that is exactly what you want to see. So they know that Invisible Woman is going to be canceling any kidnaps. That's why you play Invisible Woman against a Wolverine, is so that you can make sure that you're going to be able to pull them back. And they triggered that and then used the ultimate to just make sure it happens anyway. And that is one of the things that I love about this team. This Storm ult is going to get canceled out by ultimates happening on the other team. Totally fine, totally fair, but it's just a lot of progress they're making. Look at the ult economy. Again, now Ginger Pop has the Luna Snow ult. Spark Chief has the Hulk ult ready to go, right? So they get canceled out, though, on the other side of it because it's actually the counter with Wolverine diving in the back line. And so it's Vibrato on Boom Crew doing exactly what Light was looking for, but that's totally fine and good because the team is going to reset and get into play as soon as they need to. So being fed up with getting countered all the time, not able to actually make the Wolverine work, Light is going to swap over to Star-Lord. With the swap over to Star-Lord, we're gonna change up the way that we're poking at the enemy team. We're gonna be changing the approach. Now, instead of Wolverine having to dive in with Hulk, we're actually gonna get Storm and Star-Lord holding off the side, doing poke damage from a super safe distance. This is gonna allow for Spark Chief and Gasklin to be able to get into very, very hard to reach places that otherwise would usually get canceled out. Tons of ults coming through here on both sides. Every single support ult is gonna get popped in a very short amount of time, but Star-Lord charges that ult. That's not gonna be able to be done very easily, starting with the Season 1 mid-season update, but Light's gonna make use of it now. Legendary going to chip everybody out, and there we go. There's going to be a portal that is going to make things a lot harder to deal with, but look at that. Hulk in his ultimate immediately melted, thanks to the combo between Storm and Star-Lord. Eye of Agamotto gonna hit in as well. Light's like, where did everybody go? Why are these portals not working? And, well, it does end up going back into Boom Crew here, but look at how much time is still on the board. They've got a minute 30, more than enough time to reset and go again. This time, the supports. Take them out instantly, and they're gonna be able to do that perfectly with a good combo of the Storm ult and everything else. And boom, now that you've made it through, you've passed all of the supports, past that backline, we go into the hardest choke of this map. And Light is already gonna be able to push them back. So that little press right here, this little push up from Light is so huge, because with the timing of that fight, we have 4 people that respawn on the defender side at the closer set. Right? Now, not everybody was going to be taking this. We already saw both the supports move back to the other side, but check this out. With Vibrato and Doctor Strange, they might have had the opportunity to push up and take that early fight. But instead, it's canceled out because of how quickly Star-Lord is able to position. It's a small thing, but it is the small things that separate the one above all players from people that are below them. You don't even see that in Celestial. So Light is going to continue to poke and prod on this left side, the right side, depending on where you're looking at. And we also get the, of course, the approach to get as close as possible to their spawn. And this is actually going to be huge. They're using the ultimate early. They're using that Invisible Woman ultimate to continue to box the enemy team back and make sure that they're not able to make progress. Fraud actually ults here and doesn't find all that much value because he has to split up from the team. So the whole team just gets boxed in, and this actually allows... So taking the fight as close up as they did allows Shikigami to get through the first really difficult checkpoint. They're fighting up at the easier second checkpoint as early as possible. And look at that, Light is just in the back waiting. He's got the snowflake on him, ready to go. He has the ultimate. Gaskin gonna hit an Eye of Agamotto. It's not gonna do too much. He gets picked out, unfortunately. Light's still able to pull up above here. They try to make sure Spark Chief stays alive, and they are gonna need to use everything. But look at that, both support ults from the enemies pop out at the same time. That's not what you wanna see if you are in a top 500 lobby. So this immediately becomes a win condition. With 45 seconds on the clock, how do they make it through this? And it's gonna be through a very timed combination of every ult. Obviously, Storm ult gonna be displacement, right? This is gonna be the same level of displacement as the support ults, but it's doing damage. People are gonna have to dive off of the point. This is gonna give Spark Chief the opportunity to go into his Giga Hulk mode on the point and finish people off. And they get a lot of picks here. They're gonna be able to flip the point. As much as Bruce Banner's gonna try to make sure that they can't, it is inevitable. Well, the other team, they're gonna have an opportunity to come out of these spawn gates, but not if there's a Strange Portal. Strange Portal doesn't quite land where it needs to, but it's still just a little bit of aura points. You can see what he was trying to do there. They didn't need to make it work anyway. So that is how they got up to that point. Let's look at how their defense has changed. So now that we're on the defense, let's see what Shikigami does differently. So this time, they've swapped Gasklin to Thor. So they're playing Thor and Hulk. And if you remember from my other videos, Thor and Hulk is the ideal dive tank combo if Venom is going to be banned. Obviously, they would prefer to play Venom Spider-Man, but this is the next best thing. We'll see why. So Thor is going to just be an absolute menace to deal with on the left-hand side, making sure that there's not going to be a flank, nobody that can actually push in and deal additional damage from the sidelines. This forces the fight into one area, which is ideal if you have dive tanks. So dive tanks are going to be able to just hold their own on the objective. Gasklin does go down here, unfortunately, but Spark Chief still making waves. Energy able to get a pick as well, and because he gets the pick as Hela, that means Thor comes back. That team up is nasty. So Thor comes back immediately, and they're able to just hold this off. So it's really about the team up with Hela and Thor than anything else. If you can just make sure that Thor can anchor onto the site and dive when he needs to, alongside Hulk getting in and getting aggressive, making sure the enemies just don't have a leg to stand on, it looks super, super good. Now, because they got rolled in the first half on their defense, there's a lot of time. And that's a lot of time for Boom Crew to get game-changing ults. And they're going to pop their ultimate over to the sideline here, rather than actually on the point. This is going to do the ideal situation, which is you force the enemy team to pop their ultimates away from the point. Now, it doesn't work for very long, and inevitably, Shikigami is able to actually stall them off a bit, but it's just too much to handle, and Boom Crew does manage to come through here. Forces Gasklin off of the Thor, back on his trains just to try to use the portal, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. They're not able to get in where they need to, and Boom Crew does end up coming away with the point here. But just because Boom Crew was able to get away with the point doesn't mean that they're able to get away with the win. So Strange is going to swap back into Thor, and remember that they have to stop it before this corner, so they want to take the fight as early as possible onto that next corner. But it's going to be a little bit difficult. But thanks to Thor, they're able to isolate a lot of fights here. So Spark Chief as Hulk, the tank that has the most ability to sustain, is going to try to fight up close on the point while getting sniped and healed up. Everybody else is going to try to find isolated 1v1s. This is the ideal approach to this. So Spark Chief and Light, they're able to push up. They're able to make sure that Boom Crew goes away. Boom Crew is going to have to make sure they're using a portal to get out here because there's just not a lot of time. So Boom Crew is going to have to use this portal in order to get onto point. Let's look at it from this side. Thor dives in through the portal to prevent them from pushing in, even though they already used the Invisible Woman ult. Thor is about to die. He dives in. Shikigami has their own Invisible Woman ult on the point now as well. Both Luna Snows ready to go with their ultimates the moment that those died down. Velocity has to pop early. Ginger Pop pumps in response, but Gasklin has already gotten the pick, right? The picks are already coming through. All they need to do now is outlive the Luna Snow ult, which they can do very easily. And even with the Hela ult that's going to come out here, it's just, there's not much that Boom Crew can do, right? There you have Hela that's just decimating the point. All this damage is going to come in. It's mostly going to be down to this tickle fight, but because the stagger happened so early on, there is no recovering from it. So Shikigami is able to come through. We learned a lot just about how they're able to control using a dive composition and making sure that on Domination, you're separating those 1v1s as early as possible and you're setting your Spider-Man up for success. On the Convergence side of things, we saw how important it is to keep that pacing up, but more importantly, how you can isolate those fights without actually needing the entirety of the map. I think that the biggest thing that Shikigami has shown is overcoming those odds. When you have a team like Boom Crew that's able to just take control of an objective, use their ultimates in a way that makes it very oppressive, to take a step back, deal with it, and say, hey, here's where we can make an opening now, and in 30 seconds, we'll be able to play off. So what do you think? Do you think that Shikigami is going to be able to get more than second place in an official tournament? Or is there another team that could take the crown? If there's any teams that you want me to take a look at, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can see that video when it comes out. Thank you so much for watching, and don't worry, you'll see me around.